Okay, so let's jump right in. Have you ever wondered what's the deal with hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones? I mean, we hear these names in the news all the time, right? They're these monster storms that reshape coastlines and, frankly, demand our attention. But are they actually different from each other?
Well, here's the surprising part. The answer is nope, they're not different at all. It's kind of wild, but scientifically, we're talking about the exact same weather phenomenon. The only thing that changes is what we call it, and that just depends on where in the world it happens to form. So you can think of it as one big global storm that just has a bunch of different local nicknames.
So, that begs the question, right? What does it actually take to create one of these things? I can tell you, it is way more than just a bit of wind and rain. Nature has this very specific and very powerful recipe for cooking up one of these massive storms. The first and most critical ingredient is heat. Lots and lots of it. The ocean water has to hit at least 26.5 degrees Celsius. That's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And you gotta understand, this isn't just like a warm bath. This is the high-octane fuel that acts like a gigantic engine, powering the entire storm system from the bottom up. Okay, so once that fuel is in place, the system starts to spin and grow. But it doesn't get its official title just yet. It has to hit a magic number first. Its sustained winds have to reach 74 miles per hour, or 119 kilometers per hour. Once it crosses that threshold, bam, it officially graduates and becomes a hurricane, a typhoon, or a cyclone. All right, our storm has been born and it has its name. So now let's take a look inside. If we could just slice this swirling giant right down the middle, what would we actually see? Let's dig into its anatomy. Right at the very center, you find something totally unexpected, the eye. It's this bizarrely peaceful core. The skies can clear up, the sun might even peek through, and the winds become almost calm. But don't let it fool you. That tranquility is temporary, and it's incredibly deceiving. Because wrapped all around that calm center is the eyewall. And this is the complete opposite. It's the most ferocious, most violent part of the entire storm. This is where you'll find the absolute strongest winds and the heaviest downpours. It is the absolute powerhouse of the whole system. So what makes the whole thing spin in the first place? Well, you can thank the Earth itself. It's all because of our planet's rotation, a little thing called the Coriolis effect. As the Earth spins, it gives moving air a little nudge. In the northern hemisphere, that nudge pushes the storm into a counterclockwise spin. But get this, in the southern hemisphere, it's the exact opposite, causing a clockwise spin. It's an amazing piece of planetary physics shaping our weather. So we've seen how it's built, but it is really, really hard to grasp the true scale of what we're talking about here. The amount of sheer energy locked inside one of these storms is, well, it's almost beyond our comprehension.
I want you to just take a second and let this fact sink in. In a single day, just one of these storms unleashes more raw energy than the entire global nuclear arsenal combined. That is a staggering, truly mind-boggling level of power, and it's all just generated by heat, water, and wind.
You know, with that kind of incredible energy comes destruction. And with that destruction comes a lasting legacy. These storms aren't just weather events that are here today and gone tomorrow. They become a part of our history, remembered forever for the impact they leave behind. And the danger comes at you from all sides. Of course, the high winds are incredibly destructive, but it's often the storm surge that's literally a wall of ocean water getting pushed ashore that turns out to be the deadliest part. You combine that with widespread flooding and the risk of landslides, and you've got a multi-pronged threat. And a big part of how we remember them is through their names. These names get pulled from lists that are actually recycled every 6 years. But if a storm is so deadly or so costly that it leaves a deep scar, its name is permanently retired out of respect. It becomes a name that will forever be linked to that one devastating event. So why are some storm seasons so much crazier than others? Well, it often comes down to bigger climate patterns, things like El Niño and La Niña. These are natural cycles that change ocean temperatures out in the Pacific. And El Niño, for example, can create strong winds high up in the atmosphere that basically shred storms apart, leading to a quieter season. La Niña, on the other hand, does the opposite, often creating the perfect conditions to supercharge a storm season. And all of this brings us to the most important question of all. We know the recipe for these storms starts with warm ocean water. We've seen their immense power and their lasting legacy. So as our planet's climate continues to change and warm the oceans, we are essentially just adding more and more fuel to the engine. The question really isn't if these storms will change, but how much more powerful and how much more frequent will these incredible and destructive superstorms become.